55. I purled to peg 54. Here's peg 55. Now you can purl and put the stitch on there and then move it, or you can just purl and move the stitch. So what you do is you purl this peg, move it over one. Now what we are doing is the texture we are creating, we are going to increase on this, we will increase on this side, decrease on this side until, zoom out, make this easier to see, until the stitch that was originally on this peg is on this peg. So we are going to decrease 20 stitches on this side, increase 20 on this side. And for the increase, that's all you do. When you are on your purl row, you will take that last stitch wherever it's at, take it off the last peg, and move it over one. Now to do the decrease, we're going to take the stitch from peg 1, put on peg 2, and the stitch from peg 3, we're going to put on peg 4. Then you just push everything down. And now we are back to our E-wrap. Now when you do the 2 stitches like that, you E-wrap a row, or if you flat stitch, you stitch or knit stitch a row and then purl stitch the next row, you are creating what is called a garter stitch. So now what you want to do is you want to kind of tighten up the stitch on that last peg, wrap it, and then E-wrap every peg. We are not slipping the first stitch on our purl rows. And what that means is we're not skipping that first peg when we're wrapping back for the purl rows. So purl to peg 1. Alright, so I E-wrapped all the way back to our first peg with stitches on it. I'm going to take, there's 2 loops on it, I'm going to take both the loops over the top. Now the second peg only has 1 loop on it because that was our empty peg. And the same over here, the second peg only has 1 loop on it. Now this last peg here, which is actually peg 56, but we're going to count it as our new peg 55 since this one is decreased 1 and this is increased 1. That has 2 stitches on it. This is the only peg you'll leave 2 stitches on. And the reason is this first peg had 2 stitches on it and we knitted them off. If we would have knit 1 off on this, it would create both your sides, they wouldn't look the same. So the 2 stitches at the same time, 2 stitches at the same time. So knit off every peg. I knit off every peg. The very last peg is the only one that has 2 loops on it right now. The rest only have 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to purl back to your last peg. You'll treat both these strands as 1. You will increase 1 on this side, and then you'll come back and decrease on this side the way I'd done before. Keep going back and forth. Easy way to remember, on your purl rows are the rows that you're going to do your increase and your decrease. Your E-wrap rows are always going to be going back towards your white peg.